We'll call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'll have the reading of the minutes of the May 24th, 2012, and also then our election certifications.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, May 24, 2012 at 9 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, Creed Fletcher, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, William A. Parker, Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Fletcher, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of May 17, 2012 as submitted. American Legion and VFW representatives appeared before the Commission and provided an update review of the background of National Military Appreciation Month. Mary Albaugh, American Legion representative, reviewed the proclamation which designates the period May 1 through June 14, 2012 as National Military Appreciation Month in Upshur County, and encourages residents to express their gratitude to the military by appropriate display of flags and ribbons during the designated period. After discussion on motion by Creed Fletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the Commission to sign the proclamation. After discussion on a motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Fletcher, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the Stop Violence Against Women Grant Award and all related documents in the amount of $30,000 for the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney. James Ferry, Office of Emergency Management Director, advised the Commission that changes in formatting and the addition of form letters, news release, and public announcement forms was required to be included in the bylaws of the Lewis Upshur Local Emergency Planning Commission. After discussion on motion by Creed Fletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the bylaws and all related documents for the Lewis Upshur Local Emergency Planning Commission. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Fletcher, the Commission approved the resignation of Amanda Craig from the James W. Curry Library and Park Advisory Board. After discussion on motion by Creed Fletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the leave donation request from Micah Harris, Director of the Lewis Upshur Braxton Community Corrections and Davidport Center. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Fletcher, the Commission approved the request to authorize the Upshur County Park and Pool Director to coordinate the usage of the facility for the long course practice. After discussion on motion by Creed Fletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the employment of Abigail Saines as lifeguard at the rate of $8.75 per hour and of Chris R. Armentrout as admissions and concessions worker at the rate of $7.25 per hour at the Upshur County Park and Pool Facility. Effective date of employment for both is May 24, 2012. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Fletcher, the Commission approved the employment of Abigail Sames and Ian Halloran as coaches for the swim team during the 2012 season with the reimbursement of costs. The Commission reviewed the following for your information items. Number one, monitoring report for the Juvenile Accountability Block Grant. The correspondence from Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management concerning the West Virginia Mutual Aid Agreement. Number 2, correspondence from the Office of the Upshur County Sheriff regarding the estate of Charles Clayton Crum, deceased. Number 3, Upshur County Sheriff's financial statement, April 2012. Number 4, General County Fund financial information, April 2012. Number 5, home confinement report. Number 6, agendas and notices of meetings as listed. Number 7, meeting minutes and financial reports as listed. Number 8, meetings, that's board meetings. And number 9, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following consolidation of land tracts as listed. Todd Anderson, Representative Senator Joe Manchin, appeared before the Commission. Mr. Anderson is an ambassador for the Common Sense Connections Initiative by Senator Manchin for the purpose of contacting citizens for feedback, that's questions, comments, concerns, and ideas, to help him set a positive agenda for West Virginia and America. Morris Zickfus, county resident, appeared before the Commission regarding his physical address assignment off a private driveway, Barking-Holler Road. After review by Terry Jo Bennett, on motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Upshur County Commission approved to reassign the structure's address off of the Palace Valley Road. Terry Jo Bennett advised that this action is following the guidelines established by the Upshur County Addressing and Mapping Ordinance, and any future changes would also need to comply with the ordinance. Greg Harris, Upshur County Director of Facilities Operation, appeared before the Commission and provided an update status report on the Upshur County Recreation Park pool facilities. Mr. Harris advised that due to accessibility requirements of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the facility needs to have a ramp and lift installed prior to January 2013. Mr. Harris was advised to follow up with quotes and report back at a future meeting. Mr. Harris reported on the status of the kiddie pool chlorine issues and the purchase of a utility vehicle from the West Virginia Department of Highways. Mr. Harris was advised to follow up with the Department of Highways. William Parker and the Commission returned a phone call to Andrea Burke with Jackson and Kelly Law Firm concerning information required to contest an election. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Creed Pletcher, the Commission meeting adjourned at 12:15 p.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? Not, I'd ask for a motion to be approved as such.
So moved. I second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You may continue, Jackie.
The special meeting, May 18, 2012, the County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia, held a special statutory meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Friday, May 18, 2012, at 11 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, Creed Pletcher, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, and William Parker, Administrator. The purpose of the meeting was to certify election results. On motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the certification form for the single county and local election contest of the May 2012 primary election. With no further business, on motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission meeting adjourned at 11 a.m.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Jackie.
The special meeting, May 22, 2012. The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia, held a special statutory meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Tuesday, May 22, 2012, at 10 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, Creed Pletcher, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, and William Parker, Administrator. The purpose of the meeting was to certify election results. On motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the certification form for the national, state, and multi-county election contest of the May 2012 primary election. With no further business, on motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission meeting adjourned at 10 a.m.
Have a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I'll make that motion. So
Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, first item is approval of employment transfer of Carolyn Elizabeth Berry to the office of the Upshur County Clerk at current hourly rate effective June 17th, 2012. We have a motion to approve this transfer of employment.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Recommendation from the Upshur County Public Library Board for the appointment of R. Dennis Alexander for a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2012. We have a letter from the president of that board making that request that the commission appoint Dennis. I think reappoint him, probably in the...
Reappointment.
Yeah. So do we have a motion to approve that request?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is approve resignation of Timothy A. Woody as board member for Elkins Road Public Service District. Term ends September 30th, 2014. We have a letter from Tim asking or saying that he, for personal reasons, that he is tending his resignation from the Elkins Road Public Service District. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. If the capacity is not filled by July's meeting, I will be available for that meeting. Please advise if I need to attend. So do we have a motion to accept Tim's resignation?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next item. Consider approval of mail order program for prescription maintenance drugs. Officials and employees to utilize mail order program for cost savings to employee and employer. Effective date July 1, 2012. Employee would be responsible for the employer's share of the cost savings if retail pharmacy was utilized in lieu of mail order program. Now, Mr. Parker, if you'd like to elaborate on exactly what we're looking at here.
As you gentlemen know, this is a item that's has been reviewed for a few months now. We've sent information to the employees in the form of emails and payroll stuffers, and as such, we requested if they had comments and to respond back to the commission office. We sent out a survey, asked some questions. The first one was, do you support the proposal to switch Upshur County's maintenance prescriptions to a mail order program? And we're only talking long-term maintenance drugs is what we're talking here. We're not talking all prescriptions that somebody would be involved with. We received 13 responses back out of the 83 eligible employees. Of those, 6 said yes, they would support that. 7 said no. The 6 that said yes had no comments or answers for any additional questions. I included the comments we had a few comments and on each question. So I included those in your summary sheet that you have there, color-coded, so the same survey responded with those comments. For example, the one in red had a comment on every question. You have green, the blue, the purple, etc. Second question is if no, are you willing to try the mail order program on a trial basis for 6 to 12 months? The 7 that responded no to that question. Just as a note, if the commission proceeds with the mail order program, it's something that you could change in the future if you found out it wasn't working, wasn't generating the cost savings that you're expecting, etc.
Does that opportunity come at what period of time? Is it 6 months, a year?
The commission can make that decision at any time.
So it's open-ended from our
For
contract that we have with...
Yes, for your decision. It would just be a matter of proper notification to the third-party administrator so they could, probably a month's worth of notice is what we're needing to get, A, either it's set up or B, discontinued. And once it's set up, just allow them administrative time to get everything set. Item 3 is, if no to the above two questions, would you be willing to pay a separate annual prescription deductible of approximately $125 to $150 a month? One of the individuals that said no said yes to that question, and the 6 said no to that question. That's another option the commission could implement to generate the overall cost savings that's expected from this program. Number 4 was asking what other suggestions to reduce Upshur County's prescription drug cost. And again, some of the answers there you see, you can realize that there's evidently some still confusion, misunderstanding of the program. For example, one individual said, I would support mail order drugs for long-term prescriptions. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. And I do not support mail order drugs for initial prescriptions because they are needed immediately in most cases. Again, we're not talking about prescriptions for initial, or mail order for initial prescriptions, or items such as antibiotics, etc., whatever the case may be. In an effort to, just as a side note, to provide opportunities for the employees to get some of their questions answered one-on-one, I scheduled 3 different meetings over the past 3 Wednesdays. One at 2 o'clock the first time, 4:45 the second meeting, and yesterday at 2 o'clock. Of those 3 meetings, I had a total of 7 people attend. So I don't know why the low attendance. I don't know.
My concern and possibility on that, I think we recognize, is that employees may feel that any input they have is not properly listened to by the commission, and that any attempt to express an opinion or a position on this issue would be fruitless, and therefore why, quote, waste the time. That is not the truth. I know it not to be the truth. Going back to my earliest days on the commission about 1.5 years ago, I think one of the first votes we took was for changing from the PEIA insurance to a private insurance, which has proved most beneficial to the county and I believe to the employees. There was reluctance at the time expressed that to leave the PEIA. Change, as we discussed at that time, is always difficult. And I expressed at that time that I thought there was not sufficient time maybe to explain to the employees the benefits, to answer their questions. I know this time there's been an abundance of attempt on our part, your part as administrator, to answer questions that employees have. Maybe, again, there's still some disconnect in whether they believe that their voices will be heard by the commission. But nonetheless, it is what it is. And
as it relates to those comments, I mean, and you have them there, I think everybody that attended those meetings, the 7 that attended, were able to learn something like the comment about issues with delivery. Will someone have to be at home? You don't have to deliver it to your house. You can have it delivered to the local CVS pharmacy, because the mail order program is a CVS Caremark operation. That's who runs our prescription program. So,
and those were all explained when we had a group meeting with the various employees earlier in the year. But there still seems to be a disconnect between what we're telling them and explaining the program and their understanding what the provisions of the program are. I don't know what more we can do. I think it's vitally important that our employees understand these changes and how it benefits or affects them. But nonetheless, just an observation on my part.
Not all prescriptions, even long-term maintenance prescriptions, would have to go through the mail order program. I use prescriptions for my family, and we have a total of 12 maintenance drugs that we're taking, and there's only 3 that would benefit going through the mail order program. The others are a $4 copay, and what employees, people that showed up to meetings, what I told them recommended that they do is go to your pharmacy, ask for the cash price for a month's worth of, this, for example, blood pressure medicine on this, $4, for a month's supply. That's the total cash price. If you go through the mail order program, you're going to be paying the $10 deductible for, well, it'd be $20 for a 3-month supply, because you have to get a 3-month supply through the mail order program. So in this case, it would make no sense to process that through the mail order program. So even if the long-term prescriptions, there's many drugs out there that they would not necessarily have to fall under this program even.
And the employee has the choice of whether to participate or not in that aspect for that particular drug.
Yes. I mean, they could continue to go to the retail pharmacy. Now, for some prescriptions, it'll be much more expensive possibly, because how the program will work is they would be responsible in addition to their co-pays, because the employees save a co-pay on Tier 1 and Tier 2, as you gentlemen know. For Tier 1 it's $10, for Tier 2 it's $20. So the retail pharmacy for Tier 2 is $60, for the mail order program it's $40. So there's a savings for the employee through the mail order program also, unless it's one of these $4 type situations. But they could get other prescriptions through there, but they would be responsible, the employee would be responsible to pay the cost savings, what the Upshur County would benefit through the mail order program. And I'm not sure what that would be. That would vary from prescription to prescription.
Well, do we have an idea of how much the county would save by implementing this?
My projections is based on what, and discussion with our third-party administrator and what we're spending, approximately $15,000.
$15,000. And if the employees use this program for the mail order maintenance drug programs, they're actually going to save on one copay on their, is it 3 month or 4?
3 months. 3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
Well, now here's something that's interesting.
That's assuming that it's not a $4 copay.
Right.
You can just go pay.
Right. If it's
$4.
something that you can pay $4 the cash price for, you're better off to do that than to run it through the insurance and pay $10. So I mean, it's pretty simple just to go to the pharmacy on your prescriptions, say, okay, how much would this cost if I just paid for it cash? And if it's less than $10, you're better off to pay because you're going to pay the $10 copay. I mean, that's pretty simple. But what I didn't understand, apparently it happens, I went to the local pharmacy to get a maintenance prescription. They automatically set me up on a 3 month. And didn't you say they did the same thing? You agree? Mm-hmm. They didn't ask me if I wanted to be set up on it. So apparently, if you go get Prilosec or something, they're automatically going to set you up on a 3 month maintenance program. And they didn't ask me if I wanted to be set up on it.
It may be that your physician, in filling out the prescription, identified a 3-month refill period, in which case...
Well, they may have, and the difference there would be, I'm going to pay the $10 copay every month. Or if the same thing was implemented in a mail order program, and actually what the employees can do, they can have the prescription. One of the concerns was that something about the breaking the contact with your local pharmacist. You can actually have it shipped to your local pharmacy and go there and pick it up. So as I look over these concerns, I don't see too many or any that they couldn't, if they would just sit and think about it, that they would realize that this is not going to penalize them, that they're actually going to save money.
I believe your statement was an error at one point. I think for picking up, they can pick it up at a pharmacy, but I believe it has to be CVS. Is that correct?
The CVS, you can have it shipped. You can have it shipped anywhere if your local pharmacy was willing to do that.
Okay.
And CVS is willing to do
Well,
that.
CVS is required to do that.
Oh, okay.
But if you're dealing, let's say, with Miller's or Thompson's, I'm not sure Miller's or Thompson would be willing to handle your prescription from CVS Caremark mail order program.
Right.
They may or may not.
Well, unless you're buying-
if you're getting other prescriptions there,
If
they
you're
very
buying
well
other
may.
prescriptions there, they might very well do that.
Yes.
So,
And also, I talked about our National Association of Counties, the discount card. If you do go to the pharmacy and pay cash price, you may have additional savings by using, with $4, you may pay $3.50. I don't know. Again, it depends on the prescription.
I've got a question on that property entertainment.
go ahead, Mike.
What if you have someone that can't afford a three-month supply? I know people that they just get a partial prescription until they get paid again, until they can get the rest of it.
Well, the easiest way that is the program that you can participate in, to where you can have a set amount taken out of your paycheck every month. And so let's say that your 3-month prescription is $90. And you know that you're going to be paying that much because it's a maintenance. So you can put that in, what's the term?
Flex plan.
Flex plan, okay. So you could actually have that put in enough, let's say what your monthly cost would be. That'll be taken out of your check. And the first time, even if you only had $10 put in and it's, say, $90, it's going to pay for all of it.
It advances you
The total amount that you're committing to for a year. So that reduces that big bump of having to pay for 3 months. And the good thing about the flex plan is that as that money, let's say you put $10 of pay in or $20 a month, that's pre-tax. So you're actually saving you're saving the taxes and by putting it in that account on something you know you're going to be spending anyway.
And how that plan,
and that's the way you do that.
How that plan works, and that's one reason I wanted to have these meetings before we had our renewal. So if people were interested in a flexible spending account, because again, that participation is very low also at this point, they would have that opportunity. We have those meetings coming up, the individual meetings for the employees, so the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. And it's basically, it is I think it's a MasterCard or a Visa, one of the two. And this has a benefit card on it. It works just like a credit card. And as Commissioner Tenney said, it's if you get $300 over the year withheld, they load $300 on your account and it's available immediately. And then that $300 is deducted over the course of the year. And then there's the tax savings to the employee, as it relates to the flexible spending account. And again, it's an excellent account that people and it's not just prescriptions; it's any unreimbursed medical expense, dental, eye, prescription, whatever the case may be. So there's numerous opportunities to utilize that, and you can. One of the ladies that was at the meeting yesterday is a member of that, and she was very supportive of that, and was indicating you can go online and check your account balances, see what is in there all the time.
They actually mail you, I just received in the postal mail a status as to what amount remains for the next, was like a 2-month period prior to July 1st.
Yeah, and you have a run out period after the end of the year. I think it's 90 days to expend those funds. So for some, I know one of the concerns were, well, what if I have too much withheld? Well, they give you that grace period, as I call it, the run out period, to take care of that funding. And anybody that would, you initially may want to be conservative in your estimates, so you do not have too much withheld. Because the downside is if you do have too much withheld, don't spend it in that 90-day grace period. It doesn't go back to the employee under the IRS regulations. It goes back to the employer because it was tax deferred.
I think it's have money and then you leave for one reason or another. What happens to that money?
That money goes back to the employer. I found that out yesterday or last week.
But there are many, out of this program, there are many things that you can spend that money on, not just prescription drugs. An example that I used, my daughter works for the state and she participates in this similar plan. My granddaughter requires braces, and to obtain that coverage for for a multi-year period, they pay a flat fee, but that fee is broken down to monthly payments, so they withhold that amount of money for the braces, and that automatically takes it off the income tax at the end of the year. It's a good plan if people think about it and understand the implications. But I want to understand something in terms of what we're asked to make a decision on today. It would be not correct to say this is a mandated plan to participate in the mail order, correct?
Correct.
It is not mandated. However, it is up to the employee whether or not to take that plan. However, those employees that, as I understand the proposal, those employees that do not want to participate in the plan would be responsible at the time of getting their prescriptions for paying the county or the employer or the county's share of what normally would be a cost savings. And that expense would be passed on to the employee of the county who does not participate in the plan. Is that correct?
That's correct. And one of the discussions we had as it relates to number 3 during one of our meetings is that very topic is, well, if everybody paid a deductible, I said, I understand that, but everybody is, to phrase some of these comments, being penalized at that point, if you want to call it that, or paying additional because, of participation, whereas in this situation, if I decide I do not want to participate in a mail order, then that's my decision, and I know I'm going to be paying more, not Jackie, who's not making that decision.
Do we have, or are we able to, or have you run a assessment or a audited idea as to what that amount of money would be over, say, the first year of coverage that the county would save, because that cost would be passed on to the employee? Is there a dollar figure that we can estimate what the quote, savings to the county would be, but the imposed increased cost to the employee would be?
If the participation level continued at the current level, which is little or no participation in the mail order program at all right now, correct, the employees would then be paying, if they chose not to go with the mail order program, if that was the decision, then would end up paying an additional $15,000 collectively over the year. I do not know about certain prescriptions because it will vary from prescription to prescription.
Correct. So it'd be roughly 70 employees, if I understand the number here, from what you returned on the survey. About 70 employees would be splitting.
Yeah, there's a total of 83 eligible,
right,
and we had 13 returned. And so, depending again, if half participated, then 40 employees would be splitting approximately $7,500 in numbers.
Well, I think the other way to look at it, what would the savings be to the employees by participating in this program?
Well, if, of course, you have, if the timing's perfect on your prescriptions, or over a year's time, or 15 months time, you'll have 4 renewals normally for prescriptions, and if they're tier 2, then that's $20 a time, so that would be $80 a year for that prescription. If it was tier 1, it would be half that amount because they're $10 copay, so that'd be $40. If you have one in tier 1 and one in tier 2, then that's $120 of savings for the employee.
Right. Potential. So there's a potential savings of $15,000 for the county. There's also potential savings for the employees over what they're paying now by participating in this program. And I think that's the way we need to look at it. Now, it's like a lot of other programs, you can either participate. I believe PEIA this year didn't raise rates, but they raised deductibles to the employees. I forget what the amount they raised them. It was a few $100s that the employees that are in PEIA. So, we still have people that say, well, you should have stayed in PEIA. Well, if that's the case, people would be paying an extra $200 to $400, whatever the increase is, this year, because PEIA raised it, and we wouldn't have any choice in the matter.
For the average, they changed their benefits schedule, is what PEIA did this year, And they estimated for the average person in PEI, it's a $400 to $500
$400 to $500
increase.
additional cost.
Yes.
So what we try to look at and what we've done in our, and I know JC's expressed the, when you change plans with employees, then there's, catching up to how things work differently. But we've made 2 changes since we left PEIA, and now we're back as far as filing your claims the same way it was in PEIA. You don't have to call it in and do all the work that we did under the first change. Now we're back to where it's a smoother transition. But when you look at, number one, we have maintained as good or better coverage. We've mirrored PEIA basically in our coverage under this hybrid self-insurance plan. So we've mirrored PEIA, and actually, because of the increase in PEIA this year, we're actually $400 or $500 savings to our county employees by changing. And what would you say would be the total savings to Upshur County by going from PEIA to this new plan that we're in now? Including OPEB liability.
It's, I'd have to redo the numbers, but just for example, next year we're expecting to save another $70,000 on our fixed cost, as a county. And what that does for the employee, it helps keep the benefit in place and affordable. Versus, PEIA would still be the same premium for the employer, but the employee would end up on the benefit side, on the people that were using it, paying $400 to $500 more, is what Ted Cheatham estimated in a meeting we had with them. So it's, we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars over the projection of this program, from the open liability, the benefits, and cost, and reduce the fixed cost. One other, critical, it's until you need it, you don't realize it. But the network is much better for hospital providers, hospitals in particular, than PEIA.
There's more specialty hospitals that are available.
Really not within the state, but if you have a situation where you need to go to Pittsburgh somewhere, there's hospitals in Pittsburgh, there's hospitals in Cleveland, there's hospitals in Baltimore, i.e. the Johns Hopkins of the world, that are covered under our current network, that are outside the network. If you go under PEIA, your costs go up.
As I stated earlier, that decision to leave PEIA, the ability to provide those services to employees, has been beneficial. But it was the same issue. People concerned about change, people not believing they had any input into that decision. I believe that this plan that we are proposing is beneficial to the employees as well, if anyone took the time to look at it and see the benefits. But my thinking that and believing that is not going to convince the employees unless they take the time and effort to look at it. We've offered them opportunities to do that. It was obvious by some of the questions that you received from some of the employees, relative to these, that there is a lack of knowledge on the part of certain people as to what this plan, what constitutes this plan. In a perfect world, all the employees would have an understanding as to the benefits and why it benefits everybody, the county, by reducing our costs, therefore the public, the taxpayer gets benefit, plus the employees themselves have an increased benefit. But it is what it is. I don't know what we can do to try to, I don't want to use the word educate in a negative way, but to educate the employees more. We've offered opportunities and opportunities for that.
Well, I think each individual situation is a little bit different. In my situation, I don't have the mail order prescription drug program, but I'm going to have it. I'm on like six medications, and it seems like every other day Kroger is calling saying your prescription is ready. So I got to make a trip to Kroger's maybe 4 or 5 times a month that I wouldn't have to if it came to my home. So it's going to save me money, so I'm going to do it myself. But every situation is a little bit different.
Well, I think if you look at the concerns, like this first one, all that results from using the mail order program is inconvenience and aggravation to the employee. How is it an inconvenience and aggravation if every month your prescriptions come to your house? To me, that's less of an aggravation than having to go to the local pharmacy and get it. So, I mean, if you, the next one is, I could not do that with the mail order program. The mail order program would be very inconvenient. How could it be inconvenient if every month what you need comes directly to your house so you don't run out and you need it? And you know, one concern is, what if it gets lost in the mail? Well, you know, things get lost in the mail, but not very often. It's not like a lot of countries, I tell you. So I mean, you know, there's concerns, but I think
we could work. I mean, if we had that situation, and it was not the fault of the employee, we could work with our third-party administrator on an individual basis. Now, where we could not is, you know, where this one comment is, you know, the same day or the next day. Like for myself, the mail order program, you can set up, you can go online and set it up so your renewals, they will ship automatically. Your renewal, assuming your doctor has a current prescription in there with renewals there. When that prescription runs out, they will contact your physician, or can contact your physician if you've authorized it, to request a new prescription. That's up to the doctor, of course, is whether they write another renewal without you visiting their office. My doctor probably will not do that. That's the only way he gets me to come to his office. But that option is available if the doctor is comfortable doing that for that individual. So, you know, if you have a 3-month prescription, he can write another 3-month prescription, and it automatically then would renew. But for an employee that waits, you know, the doctor hasn't renewed the prescription and it's running out tomorrow, that individual is going to have an issue.
Okay, question then, since there is a connection with CVS Pharmacy, if you had a situation where mail order was delayed or lost, or for whatever reason did not make it to the address on time, is it possible or feasible to then go to the local CVS pharmacy and have at least a day or two supply provided at that location until arrangements can be made to have the
that's what we'd work with the third-party administrator with, and them working with the physician to accomplish exactly that. Yes.
Well, what we've tried to do on our insurance programs, we've tried to save the taxpayers of Upshur County money, which we've done through the OPEB liability, through the actual insurance cost. And actually what we've done, which is a rarity to be able to do this, is to save the taxpayers money and still provide the level of service to the employees. If you look at a lot of these neighboring counties, they pay part of your health insurance premiums and the employees pay the rest of it. And a lot of times employees are paying $200-300 a month. Well, employees under this pay what? 1 or 2%, 3%?
It's a flat fee from, I think the lowest is $10 for single coverage for up to $30 a month for family.
And it's only because of the way the program's set up that employees have to pay just a little bit, but it's very minuscule. And as Willie's pointed out, the savings to the taxpayers has been tens of thousands of dollars, and when you figure the OPEB savings, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is just another example of that if we were still with PIA, with their increase in deductibles, the employees of Upshur County would be paying an additional $35,000 a year. So, and if they go with the mail order program, which is convenient, irregardless of what people think, it's convenient to have stuff mailed to your house. We all do it. How many, you know, everybody goes on the internet and buys stuff and has it shipped right to your house. And so there's a potential savings for people to use the mail order for the maintenance drug programs. If they choose not to and they want to pay that additional amount, the worst case scenario would be $15,000, so it's still $20,000 savings over if we were in PIA, because you'd be paying another $35,000 to the employees in Upshur County if we're still in PIA. So when you look at other counties and the benefits that they have for their employees compared to Upshur County, we're probably in the top 10% of benefits that we give to the county, our county employees. And also then, a lot of us, because of Willie's due diligence and work, we're able to save the taxpayers of Upshur County hundreds of thousands of dollars when you figure the OPEB liability in. So to me, you know, our responsibility is to get input from the employees, and we've done that. Most of their concerns are concerns that I think once they start using this program, they're going to find out they're not valid concerns.
I believe that is true also.
So our responsibility is make decisions based on the facts of what's best for the county, number one, and also for the employees. And I believe we've done that, and I believe by implementing this, we're going to continue to do that. We're going to save the taxpayers of Upshur County money, and we're actually going to provide an opportunity for the employees to save money by participating in this program.
Well, and the advantage, again, one of the advantages of this program, it is a local decision, local control.
Right.
If you get into this program 6 months to 12 months down the road, things are, you know, went to hell in a handbasket, so to speak, you go back.
Well, I would think that when we make that decision later today, later this morning, that I would like to request or recommend that at 6 months we take a survey from our employees to see those that have taken advantage of it, to see what the satisfaction rate is or percentage, to ensure that we are listening to them. We have input from our employees as to their perspective on some of these things that we did that impact on them.
I think our responsibility is to provide the best bang for the buck for the employees and also the taxpayers. And these programs working together will save money for both the employees and the taxpayers.
All right, are we ready to make a decision on this? I think we beat this horse to death. I'd ask for a motion that we approve the mail order program for prescription maintenance drugs. Have a motion to that effect? We have a motion?
Well, everybody's being so silent, I guess I'll make the motion.
You say?
I'll second.
Okay, all right.
Wait a minute, I'll second with the provision that at a 6-month period of time, we revisit this issue, analyze what the employees believe to be the case, and go from there.
I think that's a good idea.
I'll revise the motion.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, number 5. Consider retaining outside legal counsel for matters relating to contested election petition in response to David D. Taylor petitioner versus Michael R. Kelly respondent. Is this miscellaneous 10-416 where it was filed?
Yes, it was filed in the miscellaneous book.
Miscellaneous files.
Yeah.
All right. You were going to do some checking and see what?
I did contact our liability provider, and they've provided a couple of references, and then we also have a reference from another county that used a, not in this situation, but as a, you know, as it relates to governmental issues, used an attorney. The firms are Steptoe and Johnson, Cooper Law Offices, and Steele Law Offices, all in Clarksburg, Bridgeport, Morgantown area. If you have individual questions, I have not made contact with any of these firms yet. Wanted to get the commission's guidance on how we wanted to proceed, if we wanted to discuss any of these with our prosecuting attorney, or exactly how the commission desired to progress.
Well, if you have 3 names, I would say the thing we need to do is, in conjunction with the prosecuting attorney, we need to look at the experience and qualifications and determine who would be the best to retain. Is that your old gentleman's thoughts?
I would concur with that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, we will do that then.
I'm assuming that would require some phone calls, and
Right.
I didn't know if the commission wanted to be involved in that, or if you wanted myself and Mr. Rigger to process through that, or,
I would like to be involved.
yeah. The only thing I would caution is the commission is, yeah, we need to discuss the attorney's qualifications. We don't, you know, and the pending matter, but we don't need to go into interpretation or discussion, because you 3 gentlemen, assuming everything progresses as I understand it, at least, will be setting basically as a 3-judge panel on this matter. So you need to be cautious in the discussion, as it relates to that. So you're not forming any opinions or discussing anything per se outside the boundaries.
That's correct. Okay, well, we will contact Mr. Rigger here in a little bit and start that process. We have correspondence from the Office of the Governor regarding the Victims of Crime Act VOCA grant award of $35,175. I am pleased to inform you that I have approved a Victims of Crime Act VOCA Victims Assistance Grant Award to Upshur County Commission in the amount of $35,175. These funds will provide for the salary of a full-time victim advocate in the Upshur County Prosecuting Attorney's Office to provide direct services to crime victims in Upshur County. Sincerely, Governor Earl Ray Tomlin. Next item, we have correspondence from the Division of Justice and Community Services on receipt and review of the fiscal year 2012 Justice Assistance Grant Program for $50,000. And they just acknowledged the receipt of that application. And due to the volume of applications received, the review committee cannot project presentations. So they acknowledge that they received that, and we'll see what happens with that. Correspondence from Buchanan Upshur Health Department concerning summer food service program operated by Mountain Cap of West Virginia Incorporated. This specifically relates to delivering the food up to the pool, doesn't it?
Yes, they're going to be having a program. Mountain Cap is setting a site at the Upshur County pool facility, so that's one of the reasons we were copied on this correspondence.
Okay. Everything's a go for food at the pool under this program. Correspondence from Albert L. Lake concerning appointment to James Curry Library and Park Advisory Board.
The gentleman just sent through a letter expressing his interest. He called the office, and I told him just to put a brief letter to the commission office expressing his interest.
And that would be to fill the recently vacated position of the principal of Rock Cave School.
Yes, Mrs. Craig.
Right.
Or one of the other positions at the end of the calendar year.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at that.
Just as it relates to item 5, just for the public and the press, that retaining outside legal counsel is counsel to give advice to the commission during this process. It's not because I had a call on the agenda is if we were retaining outside counsel for one or both of the parties involved in the case, and I said no, that's
just to advise us on the course of action.
Yeah, it's advice for the commission during this process.
Right. Okay, we have minutes and meetings and financial reports. I'm sure we've got lots of bills to pay, unless you gentlemen have something, or Will, do you have something else?
Don't have anything else at this time, other than paperwork.
All right, we'll start on our paperwork.